A few years ago, we gathered all the... A few years ago, we gathered all the smartest people we knew. Agents, market centers and regional leaders, technologists, data scientists, and asked them some big questions. What does it look like when technology is simple, smarter, and more human? How can we ensure agents stay at the center of the transaction where their clients want them? How do we accomplish this while eliminating the cost? It's called Command, and it's going to change the way we do business. Start by adding contacts directly, or through a simple voice command with Kelly. All calls, texts, notes, and any other customized fields are synced automatically across all platforms. When you add a new contact to Command, a neighborhood is automatically associated with their address. That way you can share the most pertinent information, such as migration patterns or median home price. Marketing materials have evolved from one-to-many to one-to-one, providing value at the home and neighborhood level for everyone in your database. And with Command, your business is not restricted by IDX. Wherever your clients are, there you are. Another challenge agents identified was the complexity added to the transaction by piecing together different systems connected by spreadsheets. We solved this by ensuring Command aggregated offers, documents, and communications with your client and broker, all in one place. Get a quick overview of your listings, appointments, contracts, closed deals, revenue projections, and customized reporting. Command shines a light on your business so you're never left in the dark. Housed within the Command dashboard is Lead Accelerator, an intelligent marketing tool. It leads through ROI and AI-optimized ad campaigns across Facebook, Instagram, Google AdWords, Twitter, and an ever-growing list of channels in seconds. And campaigns aren't limited to the digital space. Quickly set up and deploy a modern print marketing campaign to specific homes identified based on your criteria. That means brand awareness grows and leads flow faster with far less spend. And if you think you have to be a computer scientist to take advantage, rest assured, because Command was built hand in hand with agents. It's designed to be used by agents, by you. Simple, smart, human. Command puts you in control of your database, your business, and your future. It's time to take Command.
What is that username and password we're supposed to use?
That's your MyKW username and password. It's the exact same.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
All right.
You don't know Alexis.
Yes. So my name's Alexis Werner. I work as the operations director for the Barnes Young team here on the corner office. I've been with them for about 2.5 years, and I am as new to Command as you are practically. So if there's anything in this demo that you don't understand, or if I'm not coming across right, please ask questions as we go, because even I am still learning a little bit, okay? So first thing, Command Contacts. Command has a lot of really awesome features, and if you've been in it yet, you realize like it's got 12 big buttons that lead to 25 smaller buttons that lead to, and they just branch off like that. But the contacts section is where you're going to get, I guess, fundamentally where you're going to get your business from, right? So starting here, I think, is absolutely the most important thing you can do, and getting it right when you put it in is going to be huge. My biggest takeaway from Family Reunion was that being first to market with this is going to be really valuable to you in the long run. So with that said, Command Contacts. There are lots of ways you can put things into Command. So the first being, you can use Kelly. If you're on the run, if you're on a listing appointment, if you've got their email and they're right there and you're thinking about it, use Kelly to put them in. I mean, it's really one of the best apps for this because it syncs directly with Command. Eventually, I think it was Q3, Dory, he said that Command and Kelly will be one in the same. So right now you can add contacts through Kelly and they will go to your Command. Eventually when you go into Kelly, it will be Command, and you can run all the same things through that.
So you're just going to say, hi, Kelly, add.
Right, or you can go in through your app. Do you guys have the Kelly app?
Yes.
Okay.
Does everybody have the Kelly app?
Yes.
Does anybody not have the Kelly app? Okay. All right.
So there are different ways. When I've spoken to her, I will say that speaking to Kelly, I'm sure you guys have noticed, is not always the most effective way to do it. I tried this morning to try and add somebody via voice, and it just didn't quite get all the way there. It'll add them as a name, but it won't actually put in their contact info. So you can actually do it manually. If you go in and at the bottom, there's a feature called Command. Click there, and at the top it's Contacts, and you can add a new one at the top right. That's where you can put in all their information, and you only have to do it once, which is the beauty, right? So you do it once, you don't go back to your PC and do it again, it's already there, and it's done. And from here, in Q3, you should be able to add them to any kind of email blasts that you have set up, marketing campaigns that you have set up, for the farm, for the area that they're in. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, adding them in here. So that's kind of the future of where it's going, but for now, if you can get in the habit of adding them to Kelly, you'll be in really good shape as you go along. Any questions on that? Did you guys see where you can add them in the app? Okay. All right. Next is manual entry. And this one is super fun, but it really does take you through step by step and let you know like where you're actually putting these people and how they're being delineated in your database. So I'm actually going to pull up Command, and you get to see Jennifer's command, which we actually just scrubbed this morning.
And when you say manual entry, you mean going online to Command?
Going into Command, agent.kw.com, and then pulling up contacts. So when you're on this page, top right is add contacts. And there's all of the information is there. So full name, if I was going to add myself, which is probably a good idea.
Hey Alexis.
Yeah.
Do they know how to get to Command?
I said it, I think it while you were here, but
Okay. I was pretty sure.
everybody got in? Do you guys know how to get there? Agent.kw.com will get you to the command screen. It's your KW login. So the My KW login, that's your login. Make sense? Pretty good? Okay.
How did you get to the add contact?
Up top right.
Okay.
So when you just first show up in command, this is what it looks like. It's a bunch of buttons. Top left is your contacts, and they show up in an Excel type grid. And then you top right can add a contact.
Like, you know, if they're going to put something on the current e-edge thing as a link to the command.
I don't, a link from EH
Yeah,
just go to.
just so, like, let's say 15 minutes from now I hit my head and I can't remember anything you told me. I don't know where to go.
You can Google KW command and it comes up as like the third link if you really need to. I have it saved actually as an icon at the top of my browser just so I can quick click.
Perfect.
It's super easy. So inputting a contact, there are lots of info fields, and I think each one has its value. Obviously name, so I'm just going to put myself in as an example. My email. This is my real phone number, so take advantage. My preferred method of contact is email or text. You guys have captured me. Yay! Lead source is a big one. So we have a few in here. You can add these in the back end of command, and I can show you guys where to pick those up. They are completely dependent on you. So all of these will have to be added by you guys prior to putting all these people in if you want them to drop down. Now, if you add all your contacts and you want to go back behind them and add them in, you can do them that way too, but this might be a little bit easier if you just go ahead and do it on the front end. And I'll show you guys that page as well.
So is lead source where you would put in SOI, or is that a group?
Nope, lead source is SOI, client referral, you know, open house, client event. Where did they come from? System tags and custom tags. So system tags, these are already in here. So those are provided to you by command. Custom tags are things that we have added. So right now I have 2019 buyer, 2019 seller, associate, best of UIT, and family reunion. You add these and you customize them. I'm gonna have a slide on this later. There are two different things. There's custom tags and custom fields. Custom tags, factual information. You don't want to over tag people. So things like buyer, seller, are they farm, are they, I mean, what you need to know in order to drive your business forward using that tag. These are like things that catch your eye on the main page. These custom fields is what you would use for things like favorite pie flavor, dog's name, stuff that makes it more human. You would use custom fields for. What's the question? You okay? Okay.
Super quick question.
Sure.
So I have not connected anything. I have not uploaded names. I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I've got a list of names in my.
Cheers. Did they come from eEdge, baby?
We just looked. I have
Yeah.
nothing connected.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not connected.
They're supposed to move over from eEdge to
Yeah.
KW Command.
No, not automatically. With my habit.
Well, also
Not
people refer
automatically?
you, they've requested you.
As a
from-
referral.
From Kelly, yeah.
So it could
Yeah,
come
I've
from-
got-
It could
come
be
from
from
Kelly
them.
then?
Yes.
Okay.
It could come from
You should
Kelly.
get in one of your emails, I don't know if it'd be
All
your
of mine
personal or
is
your
from
KW,
Kelly.
so and so's requested you. to
Yeah,
join
I've
the
got all
KW.
that from Kelly. I've got.
Yeah,
So
so those
that's probably
people-
where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to not overwhelm you with too many questions.
It's okay.
Right now, lead source versus system tags. So right now, if I met someone in the open house, would that be like, the lead is like where, if I bought it or where cause it's not referral, like system tags is more like referral, buyer. How are
System-
you using this lead source versus system tags?
So lead source is your customized way to track where things are coming from in your business. So for us, we might have it broken down by client referral, SOI, things like that. The system tags, I think, are primarily used for like agent. Like if it's one of your peers, if it's an agent peer, or if it's something that they've already broken down for you, like downline. That's a system tag. I wouldn't use that in our personal, like, going through and seeing where people have come from to use my filters for business. So like, I think that system tags, I wouldn't focus too much on them unless you really want to break it down by what they've already dictated.
Okay, so lead source would be the more, cause I don't
Yeah.
see that many options for lead source.
Well, you add them.
Yeah, okay.
So
but
you-
it came with some, so I
It
didn't
did.
add, so.
Yes, and you can customize those to your liking. So if you have, if you buy leads from somewhere and you want to be able to tag it, that would to track what you're getting ROI wise, you do it like that.
How do we add a system tag?
I will show you that. I want to finish showing you how to get it in there first, because otherwise, if we keep jumping back and forth, you're going to get really confused. I think. I don't know.
I don't know if you had this problem. I'm having this problem now. I already put somebody in, and then I wanted to add more stuff like address and all that stuff, and then it just circles and circles and circles and circles, and so nothing's happening.
Yeah, so when you put somebody in, my suggestion right now is to have them as complete as possible when you're going into this screen, because when you go back to add things after the fact, I've struggled really hard to get things to stay in there. So I think that's just a glitch that they're dealing with. I've uploaded it to labs. I've said, hey, like, when I go back into my contacts, I need to be able to update them. And I've struggled with different areas. Not all of them. So like my neighborhoods have stayed, even though the neighborhoods function isn't there. But some of the additional info that I've been trying to put in has not. So that's just a technical. Go ahead.
So I think everybody that went to family reunion, we were just told just get the name, the email address, maybe the phone number, and the home address is the most important thing to have in there. So
Yeah.
name and home address and email, so you can send them the Kelly's, kind of like the Kelly snaps, but they're going to put you on a drip campaign.
Yeah.
Those are the only really important things you need to worry about right now. It's just all about getting that in the database.
And I will qualify that with yes, but if you have an enormous database and you do not want to go back after the fact to try and figure out who came from where by remembering their name, having these tags in there is going to be important. So for us in particular, like we track client referrals, we track things like that. We have a Best of BYT group that I need to know who they are, and I personally don't, as an admin, know all of these people, right? Like face to face, and I don't know if they are supposed to be in Best of BYT unless it's tagged that way. So caveat to that, yes, name, email address, physical address was a really big push. There are only 8% of physical addresses in Command right now from all the agents who have uploaded their databases. 8% have physical addresses. That's a yikes. So you want to make sure that those basic details are in there for sure. But if you are going to look at syncing your database and it is quite large and you do not want to go back after, I would have my tags in there. I would definitely have some. Go ahead.
So how do you create the custom lead source, or are you saying just to tag it and
You can create it. It's on another page though, so I don't want to like jump back and forth between the two. Otherwise, it might get a little muddy. So essentially, what this page is, it's assuming a lot of things, right? It's assuming that you have already put in your custom fields and you know what you want them to be uploaded as. To Andrew's point, I would not get too bogged down in it. I'd have some basics. Don't overcomplicate it, but I would definitely have some in there so that I know where these people are coming from. Any other questions before I keep going? Go ahead.
We putting couples in individually?
You have to put couples in individually, and then you tag them as a relationship, which is actually at the bottom here. So you put a description about who they are, you put their address, you can dictate if it's work, home, other. It is their primary, so you can designate it as primary. And you can add another address if you needed to. Date of birth, relationships, that's what Dory's talking about. So you have to add people individually right now. So I know who uses Wise Agent? Anybody use Wise Agent? Yeah, we use Wise Agent too, and right now it has them grouped as a couple, which is lovely for mailers because you don't duplicate. And Command is set up to do that, but you have to input them as separate people and then connect them as a relationship.
Because they're ultimately each going to have their own app.
Right, exactly.
My dad likes sports and my mom likes cooking.
Right. So Command is trying to individualize and make it more personal, like you're saying, Nadine, and part of that is inputting them separately and then connecting them for your reference as a relationship. And you can say what kind of relationship it is. I mean, they've got everything here. You just select from this nice long list, and you can even put other.
So you're gonna have to put the address in twice. It's not gonna be able to find the address of them. If you put the relationship married, you won't be able to find the address.
You will have to put it in twice, to my understanding. Now, will that develop over time? Probably, where you will just connect them and they'll have the same address. But since there are so many different relationships right now, like father, mother, brother, sister, they cannot assume that your address is the same as the one that you put in. Does that make sense?
So for instance, like I just wanted to put my spouse in.
Yeah.
And I put in his name and it's like not there because he's not in command.
Right.
So the person has to be in command before you can add them as a relationship.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to add them separately.
Okay, got it.
Anybody else on that?
Are they gonna be able to do a data dump, like if you have a lot of contacts and do a total data dump?
So yeah, that's another slide. Hang on. Hang on for me.
No problem.
I'll get there. So you can also add their
Alexis' question, sorry.
No.
Bree is having trouble saving.
It won't save. It just says there's an error.
Yeah, mine is too.
So this is the growth of Command. I really wish that I could like resolve those issues, but I was 32nd in the queue yesterday for one of my questions. So it just, yeah, they're just resolving stuff at a rapid rate, and it's just gonna take time. So when you hit save, theoretically, it will pop up in that bar, and it'll all be laid out for you. And I'm gonna show you that. Hang on one second. So you can add social in here. This is actually really fun. If some of you drive your business through social, this will be a really great feature for you because you can blast things to their social. You can check in on them, things like that. Does everybody know what a Facebook ID is? Like where you would get that?
No.
Don't tell us.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. So the cool thing about Facebook is that their Facebook ID is actually really easy. If you go to their page and just click, like if I went to Tara's page and I searched for my Facebook and I clicked on her, there's a web address at the top, and the last bit after the last backslash, usually it involves their name, that is your Facebook ID. So it's not as complicated as like the interworkings of Facebook. It's just go to their page, look at the top, the last little bit is their Facebook ID. If you put that in there, it will be connected to their contact folder.
Basically, you're on Facebook, you go to their page.
Anything else on that?
What's the benefit, I guess, of having their Facebook ID in here?
Yeah.
I think the benefit of having their social is just, I mean, there's a lot that you can do with that. If you drive your business through Facebook, then you understand, like, for example, if you have Facebook ads and you know Facebook IDs and you have a large volume of those, you can actually market to them separately. You have to have quite the volume. Don't get me wrong, like that's like next level stuff, and even I don't operate in that, but if you have enough of them, you can actually market to them as a group. So instead of just kind of flinging out a net to 30,000 people, you know, you can have a few thousand and actually just speak to them, which is cool. Makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense.
For the back. How did you find the Facebook ID again?
So if you go to your Facebook page and you click on one of your contacts.
Oh, on your Facebook page.
So no, you go to their actual profile. So if you're logged in, go to their profile, click, and it's just their profile up. Top right, the web address. This might be easier to do if it's not on mobile.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be on.
I think I think Facebook started doing this. If you're in mobile, their ID might be below their name, or if you click about, it might be below their name. This I'm less sure
when you
about.
do on more, it says copy link, but it doesn't show. I tried it, it didn't show me what it copied.
It didn't show you the last little bit. Might be easier on PC then. And frankly, that might be easier for you if you're updating command anyway.
So you start with their name and everything but after their name.
So if you are in their page, top of the web address, at the very end, the last backslash, there's going to be some words. Typically, it involves their name or their initials or something like that. There are a lot of people on Facebook, so it might be a randomization a little bit. But whatever's after that last backslash, that's their Facebook ID. So I went to try and figure mine out yesterday, and it's like Alexis.w.earner. You know, it just has, it might be something weird, but that's what it is. And you can connect to more than Facebook on here. You can do Instagram, you can do LinkedIn, Google Plus is going away, obviously, Pinterest, all kinds of things are available in command.
And then in the future, like the idea is that say you attach the Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all these, you know, your Gmail and everything, command is going to pull from all those systems and be able to track how many independent, like, contacts you've had with them. So like, oh, you posted happy birthday, you know, on their birthday, or you had a private message with this person, or you had an email correspondence through Gmail, and so like, you can track when was your last like contact, quote unquote, person, right?
Right. Yes.
So that's another benefit of putting their handles in.
That is totally end goal. I mean, the end goal is that you know everything and they know everything, and it's all together in this large platform.
Right.
We're in the baby stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a huge benefit and would be going forward. Yeah. Did I see another hand? Other question?
I was gonna say, if you're on mobile and you go to like a specific person's page, there's a few dots to the right that says more, and you click that, and then there's an option that says copy link to profile, and then that'll show you. I'm not seeing it like just, you know,
written out, like whatever it is.
but you can get that link and it'll show you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. So at the bottom is custom fields, and we were talking about that a little bit. You can have these generated prior to, and they'll be in a drop down. You can create them in the moment. So if you know that you only have a few friends who are Alabama fans, you just want an Alabama fan in there. Don't recommend it, but if you did, you can do that right here in the moment instead of trying to go back and create a separate custom field for every single scenario that may ever be. But custom fields, as I said before, are more human things, like things that you know that they like, that connect you to them, that make your database more rich, but don't use those to like funnel your database, if that makes sense. I think it does. I hope it does. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a manual contact. You click create, and in theory, they would be in there. I'm gonna try it now and see if it works.
It just did spinning wheel of death for me.
Yeah. And that's just part of the growth of this system. It's not super integral to what we're going to talk about today because we're really just trying to get them in there. I know it sucks that you can't see it in there, but now you know the process to go through to get them in there manually. All right. The next idea is inputting them from a file, so importing one of those lovely CSV files. If you've ever transferred databases before, you know what I'm talking about. It's the thing that it exports for you that has all your contacts inside and that you would upload to another system. You may have actually done it also if you have like Eventbrite, or if you've ever sent out an Evite to anyone, you might have had to download a CSV file to upload to their system so that you didn't have to go Tara Winslow, Tara at KW.com. Anybody familiar with that system? Okay. All right. So for command, it's also at the top right, and it's an import. Command CSV file is unique. So there is, if I download my CSV file from Wise Agent, it will not talk to command. And I just downloaded this. I tried this as a rough and ready kind of thing about 2 months ago when I got so excited the command was coming. I was like, yeah, let's put all our contacts in there, woo! And it was 1,200 contacts of phone numbers. And that was all that it uploaded. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going back through there and putting everybody's address in. I can't. I won't. That's crazy. I do it for 2 years and probably still not be finished. So I actually went out and deleted them all, which is why you see Jennifer's is completely blank right now. If you have a database, and I don't want to throw out too many sizes because it's going to depend on your leverage, I think.
Right.
But if you have a database that is, I want to say 500 contacts or less, you may be able to match and do what I'm talking about here, which is download their CSV file and see what it says right there, download the pre-made CSV file. You can download that, it's a blank template, and then you play the matchmaker, and then you take your CSV file that has it laid out, name, phone number, address, and you make yours, copy and paste your contacts into that CSV file.
Okay. So Alexis, a lot of us have eEdge, right?
Yes.
So we have eEdge. Can you show us how to do eEdge as an example, since we're going from Keller Williams eEdge into command?
I wish that I could, but I actually don't use eEdge, so I don't know. However, eEdge is the first and probably the most preferential based on the classes that I was in at Family Reunion. So they are, I think it's going to be the one that syncs first. They also have something called PySync, which I'm about to get into in a second, which will allow you to do it in and keep both sides updated. I'm going to explain that in a second. Go ahead.
I know if anybody uses iCloud for their contacts, you can actually, it's like an online, you download a vCard, so you download that, and then you can convert all your stuff into CSV, but then you still have to do the same thing that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
So from eEdge, is anybody super familiar with eEdge? Like knows? So do you know how to get your CSV file? If
No,
you
but I got it
export?
up. If you, I mean, we can do it. I don't want to do it with all these other people. I just thought a lot of people had to. Am I the only one that's using eEdge?
I do.
No, I
don't know how to
Okay, so you guys know how to export your contacts, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, if you
Right.
export your contacts, that is a CSV file.
Okay.
Now, I cannot stand up here and show you how to cut and paste into each one, but that's the basic principle. And it sounds ugly, and it is.
So with eEdge, since that's KW's system, right?
Mhm.
So we should be able to export it and then take the whole contact file and dump it in. Not even for their own
Not
system.
even for their own system. Ooh, sorry.
So we still gotta do it one by one?
Yeah. Not one by one. So you're actually taking the categories and matching them. You're not doing like one contact by one contact. Go ahead.
Didn't they say to do it one contact by one contact right now? Because if you import it, it's likely that everything's not going to go to the exact space that you want it.
If you're taking that raw CSV file, alright, this gets technical, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to think of an easy way to say it. So, when you export from
Fields aren't
eEdge,
gonna match.
huh?
The fields aren't gonna match.
Yeah, the fields don't match, and that's the only real issue. And but it's the manual part of this.
One
So
of the
you're
first
saying
things
you
they
need to-
said was you need to go through your eEdge, if you use eEdge
Right.
or Gmail or whatever
Right.
you're using, and scrub it. You
I've
need to
done
clean it
that.
up,
Yep.
make sure everything's correct, and hope that when you move it over, it goes how it should. Now the fields aren't the same for eEdge as they are for command. That's where because it's still KW, but it's my understanding two different systems.
It's correct.
So the simple thing is
I'm
not
going to show you guys. Hang on. So, in the interest of showing you guys what I'm talking about, because it is complicated. So when you export a file from your current CSV, you get something like this, but it has fields filled, right? The integral issue is that they do not exactly match, and command does not know how to take that file that you have and make the name match the name. It can't do it. So what I'm saying is you have to download your export file, open it up, drag your cursor over one column, copy it, and put it in the appropriate column. For all its technology, command cannot do that for you.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
It's not, I mean, I think
Yet.
it's easier than people might think it. I mean, we do
Typing
this all the
over.
time with other, like paperless post and
Yeah.
MailChimp and all that. You just follow the fields.
It's a lot easier than typing 1,000
And
contacts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You might have to copy the rows to
Right,
put in
but
the
you
right
put
categories.
exactly. So it's not individual contacts. It's just that you have to take the time to cut and paste these columns to where they belong.
Which is
You're
still a
cutting and
huge
pasting
time
it.
saver.
Yes, it's better than doing it one by one.
And do you know if it's going to be sensitive to like, sometimes people put dashes on their phone number, sometimes it's a period, sometimes it's nothing. Does it need to be blank? Do you know, or you don't know?
No, I don't think it. I think that it will translate the content within the cell just fine. So it's going to put whatever it sees in that cell into its category. You're just teaching it categories.
Right.
So you're saying this is a phone number. This is a name.
Right.
And it just cannot take it from your export file and look at it and say, I know that that's a name. That's all. And I say that's all. I know it's a big thing, but.
And can I say one thing?
Sure.
So what we could do with big databases, we can just copy, like Andrew said, a really good point, just the main columns. Just do your 4 or 5 or 6 main columns, right? Wouldn't you suggest that?
Yeah, you definitely can. And I would err on the caution of simplification rather than complexity, because you will get bogged down. This is a huge project, and if you start going through and saying, well, I want so-and-so tagged with this pi tag and this, and it's just going to you'll never get them in there. So focus on the simplification of it, and if you do have a big database like mine, like I was saying earlier, we do have to have some of those tags in there, and it may be a little bit more time consuming, but pick your most important ones. I mean, I think right now in Wise Agent, we have 50-something tags. I am not taking all those with me. I'm just not. And we did the same thing. We went through our database person by person by person and prioritized what was important to us. And it really just went back to the fundamentals of the Red Book. So like our METs, and then our advocates, and then outside of that, our unmets. And we simplified it to that level. So before we had, it's too many. Now we've simplified it.
I think one of the important things that I took away from one of the classes about command was that you're right, simplify. So they said your most important people are going to be your SOI.
Yeah.
And then you take from your SOI, you take the top advocates that you get the most business from or have the most contact with.
Yeah.
So you have an SOI and then you have advocates.
Yeah.
And that's a good starting place.
Yes.
And then go back and fill in.
Yes. Because over time databases grow and you have more important things that matter to you now that didn't before, but you didn't go back and scrub it from the other ones. And that happens. So now you're just going through and simplifying. So does everybody understand what I'm talking about? CSV file, export, copy paste, upload.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Once you have this file completed, you drop it in this little box, or you can click there and go and look on your desktop or wherever you have it saved, and then it'll have an option for complete, and it will upload them, and it does take time. It's not an instantaneous thing, so a large database may take 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It just depends on how big it is, and it'll go in there and it'll let you know when it's done. It actually gives me a notification up here when I did the first one. Import file is complete.
Do you need to get out of it while you're importing to let it think, or can you still work?
You can leave it in there. I mean, so that's assuming you have things in there to work on, right? So right now we're kind of doing the first upload, but if you were to upload some, yeah, you should be fine just working in it. Okay. So if you're not going to import it from a file, you can use PySync. Now this is something they talked and touched on at Family Reunion that I kind of want to go into a little bit, but I don't want to overwhelm because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. PySync is essentially the easy button. It is a system that will link your current database to command and keep both sides updated. It is two-way communication. It is really super cool. The only thing is I have not actually tested it, and so I cannot tell you the accuracy with which these things come over. Being that I don't want to delete 5,000 people from this thing, I have not done it yet. It does support 150 applications, so I put just some of the more popular ones up here. But there are a couple caveats with PySync. The first being that until March 18th, you can do whatever you want in there, and they won't charge you a dime. You can upload, you can connect all 150 if you have that many. If you have Insight, if you have MailChimp, and you want to put your Google contacts in there, and you want to have your current database in there, sync them all, see what it looks like. After March 18th, your largest sync is free. And we've been talking a lot about static updates so far, like a one-to-one, like you are uploading it and then it's just going to stay. This is a two-way conversation between, and PieSync is kind of the middleman. So if you have Wise Agent, like I do, and we're trying to get into Command, but I'm not fully ready to let go of everything in Wise Agent, this will keep both of them, whatever you do in each one, it will keep them both updated. That's the theory.
Alexis, can you switch like one from another? Like say if you're using Wise Agent right now, but you're using something else later in Command, can you like toggle which one is your largest?
No, so it's going to
That can be the one forever.
So it's a monthly charge. So it does this all the time. It's constantly working. So you have to think of it like a subscription service. It's not like it's going to take everything and throw it into Command and bye-bye. It is actually
Real time?
real time. It's using their software to essentially have both of your systems talk to each other all the time. And so if your largest sync, like say mine, let's say I chose Wise Agent. That is my largest sync and would continue to be my largest sync. I would recommend whatever your biggest database is. If you keep all your contacts in Google, then make it Google. Put it in there and keep those together and keep those working back and forth. If you are a huge MailChimp person and that's where you like to maintain your stuff or have up to this point and you're still getting used to Command and you just want to use both at the same time until you get it fully fleshed out, do that one. You can have them all and see how you like it until March 18th, which I would, if you are really thinking about doing this, I would recommend having all of your different sources in there and see what you like and see what you don't. But I think this going forward is going to be a valuable marketing type tool. So if you have leads coming in from Facebook ads or coming in from your website and you want to make them talk all the time so that you're getting alerts and it's automatically adding to Command and you can set them up on marketing immediately, that's where I think this is going to be super value add. But if you have a really large database and you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, this might be a good option for the time being. Let me show you what it looks like online. Okay, so this is kind of their offer to us. After March 18th, everything's 50% off. So if you wanted to keep both Wise Agent and your Facebook leads connected in real time, then that Facebook lead would be a monthly charge, and it's per contact. So if you look at the top, the scrolling bar is like 500, and it goes all the way up to like 25,000. The pricing varies based on that. So we talked a lot about no additional cost at Family Reunion. This is one thing where the first one is free, but there is a little additional cost down the road. So just be aware of that. Any questions about PieSync? It's interesting.
So the benefit of this PieSync deal is that like I've got all these different databases and I've been saying this for years. Like could somebody just like get everybody in every database and just get it into one?
Yeah.
So basically I've got .loop, I've got MailChimp, I've got Wise Agent. And this PieSync connects it with Command, right?
Yes.
So everything in Command is a mirror of everything that's in Wise Agent, .loop, right?
Correct.
Now, if I get all this PieSynced up and then I'm like, I don't want to pay for it, everything's still synced up in Command. It's just anything going forward that came in from MailChimp or whatever, I have to manually make sure it was reflected as updated in Command.
That is my understanding of this. I have not played with it yet, so I don't want to give any guarantees, but my understanding is you sync them together, and you're still going to have your command list, right? It can't remove those from you.
Okay, yeah.
But once you let go of PieSync, you have to let go of whichever other one you don't want to use, because the complication with transferring databases has always been, I do not want to go whole hog, but I still have to maintain 2 in that time space, right? And then I'm not sure which one is actually the most up to date, and it gets complicated.
Very.
This might, and this might be a good option for people who, you just want it to talk for a little while until you can figure it out.
So can I add just one quick thing?
Yeah, of course.
Because I talked to, I can't think of his name. He did one of the workshops. He actually runs labs. Do you remember his name? Voorhees, David
yes,
Voorhees?
I was in 2 of his classes. He's
Okay.
great.
So what he said was, the reason you might want to do this because of big business and as we grow big businesses, it doesn't matter which of these sources you add it to, it populates among all of them. So if you keep MailChimp for something, or you keep Facebook for something, or if you keep another third party for something, because we're going to still have a couple our dot loop. If a name comes in through dot loop, it's already populated through MailChimp. So if you're going to do a mailer tomorrow,
Oh yeah, it's great.
so it doesn't matter which one it is. So the PieSync thing basically keeps you from entering it 4 or 5 times. And it's not just in command. You don't just enter it in command. It doesn't matter which source it came from. It goes to all the other sources.
And updates it.
Not just the command, because I think a lot of people are getting confused that it just went to command. But all the other sources get it too, because you're building databases, maybe with your Facebook page. So
and
it's something.
eventually, I think the idea is that we're not going to need all those other databases, that everything's going to be housed in-house. So Wise Agent will go away, Dotloop will go away, whatever these other things, MailChimp will go away, and we'll all have it in command, right?
But if there was ever something, something new and better, or third party comes up, it could talk to each other constantly. So so you're right, but they were saying, can I say this? We're going to be in the 4th quarter before we even get to 75% of what this can do.
Okay.
So we're still
we're going to need these other systems
for a little bit of time, and it may be 2 years, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah.
Before they get, there's still buttons on the side of command that won't be ready for a while. So exactly, that's the concept, but that's what they were sharing in the one class that we went to.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
And so, but then PieSync is really sort of like, if I get everything talking to each other, then I don't really have to do this CSV download.
Correct.
Right? Because I'm already connecting it to PieSync.
My caveat is I don't know how it's going to do that.
Right.
So I do not know if it's going to pull everything, if it's going to pull my top 5 categories. I truly don't know, and so that's why I just want to explore it a little bit. I have not done enough research on PieSync to guarantee it, but that's the fundamental idea of it, is that it will take all your stuff, put it in one place, everybody's connected, and then going forward, it's kind of like a bridge. That's how I'm seeing it, is a bridge until command is fully up and running. Got it. Any other questions? Okay, how do you get to PieSync? You go, okay, I'm going to start over because I skipped a little bit. You go to your home page on command. So that's the top left button, it's a little house. And it brings up this screen. This is your dashboard screen. And you click settings. And as you can see, I've got Gmail connected, Facebook's connected, MailChimp's connected. If you scroll down, this little guy is PieSync. And if you click on the right hand side, connect account. Oh, don't do the wheel of death. Okay. So this is a full list of all of the apps that it currently supports. And it's a bunch. So in my case, I would go, and it does have Follow-Up Awesome here. I know that's a popular one. Lion Desk is right here. If I went in here and clicked this and put in my login info for Wise Agent, and I'm sure a couple other questions that they probably have, they should theoretically connect.
Okay, can you tell me then how you got to this page?
Of course. Alright, so if you go to the top left, your little home button takes you to this page. This is your dashboard page for command. Little cog is settings.
Okay, settings, got it.
Scroll down and PieSync, and if you click connect accounts to the right hand side, that's where you get all of the CRMs. That's where you get the wheel of death.
And then you just say I accept, and then all that stuff comes up. Yes.
So nice
going to be hundreds of thousands of people.
Alright, so that in a nutshell is PieSync, and that is the biggest way to get everything to talk to it. So I went over this a little bit with tags. Tags and custom fields are two different things, and definitely treat them as such. That was a huge point in one of my command classes, is do not over tag your database. It will get confusing. Because tags show up, I'm going to pull it up in command. Tags show up in your contacts field right here. So you've got your tags right here. If you have 15 of those, that is going to be overwhelming. It's meant to catch your attention. So if you've got a hot buyer, an advocate that last visited their neighborhood site 4 minutes ago, you want to be able to see that and recognize it, and boom, it's right there. You know who it is. You don't want to be like, wait, s'mores, pumpkin pie? Like, that's not what you want to be doing here. You want to be straight up, that's my hot buyer, and I last contacted them 5 days ago, I need to catch up. Or using your filters wisely with your tags. That was a huge emphasis in one of my classes, and I think it's super important. Because custom fields and custom tags, I can see where they would get confused, and even I was like doing some weird things in there the first couple months. But I think if you can simplify your tags, you're going to have a much more efficient system in command. So, just wanted to touch on that.
So back to this PieSync deal. So I'm on the thing, I'm looking at all the icons. I don't see WiseAgent, I don't see MailChimp, I don't see any of those.
Okay.
Mine was good.
We're going to both keep
Maybe it's Connect Wise Manage. It's just like under another name.
Yeah, so MailChimp is MailChimp, but then Connect Wise you're right. WiseAgent doesn't just show up as WiseAgent.
Okay.
It's Connect, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so you just have to look.
You kind of have to
at the
look,
okay.
yeah. I know it was annoying because I told Erin with emphatic, like, they don't have WiseAgent, and I'm so upset about it. She was like, just kidding. So it may just take some exploring, and that's going to be a lot of features of command. So like, we're not going to talk about Sketchhouse in here or anything like that, but I've played in those, and it's just going to take time to figure them out. I mean, they are huge. The fact that you can send a digital marketing piece and a paper marketing piece and a custom piece to an email all in one like little, I mean, think about how many systems you use for that right now. I use 4 different systems for that. So it's just going to take some time to explore them, and yeah, just have fun with it. Try to have fun with it. Go ahead.
So if you're farming, you know, you're doing your postcards, your door knocking, whatever, you get some contacts due to either specific neighborhood subdivisions, etc. And I want to be able to, okay, let me see everybody I'm in contact with from that subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
Would you use a subdivision as a custom field or a custom tag if you're trying to sort out?
I think that would depend on how big that category is for me. So if I got a couple onesie twosies, I would probably use that as a custom field because you can still search it. If I am consistently marketing to the same High Point farm and it's the same people, I'm going to use that as a tag, a custom tag, because I've got, I don't know.
System tag or custom tag?
Custom tag.
Custom.
Because system tags, I really haven't played much with them, but custom, you can kind of colorize them and make them your own. System tags are a little different. But I would use a custom tag for that because of how many people I had. If I only had 1 or 2, if it was an open house thing, I would just put that as a custom field so that I knew where they came from. Source, open house, custom field, whatever the name of the address was, maybe.
The field's still custom field is still searchable, right?
Yes. Yes, they're all still searchable, and you can apply so many different filters to these things. So, slight skip talk here, but at BYT we're very, very famous for them. If you go into your contacts, at the top there's something called Smart View, and you can manage Smart Views, and you can create different. You can create different Smart Views by using settings, I think. Sorry, take me a second. But you can create these Smart Views that make searching so much easier. So like, you can categorize them, put a bunch of different pieces into it, and then categorize it as farm, farm mailer leads and just immediately pull them up. Or if you have Facebook buyers, right? You can pull them up and have that smart view and then just go boom, 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 boom down your list for lead gen. So smart views are going to be huge. I won't get too much into them right now, but you can search every field that you put in for your contact and customize it. I mean, you can go even deeper, really, once you get into it.
I set up apply sync the other day, and it appears to be working. It's a MailChimp one, and it says it's connected if you go into there. But I can't see it. Is there something you need to toggle on or off to see them?
Not that I'm aware of. See, I haven't played in PieSync yet, but I do think they're having issues with contacts in general and being able to view them. So my next slide is about Teams. So Dawn and I were playing in this yesterday, and let's see. So I can't see her contacts that she's putting in, and I'm logged in as Jennifer. So I should be able to see everything she puts in, and she should be able to see what I put in. She couldn't see any of the contacts that I had in there. So I think they're dealing with something. We've elevated it, and that was when I was 32nd in the queue. Like, I can't see anyone. But for now, I think that we just have to wait for them to figure that part out. I do not know when they're going to have it resolved, though. So today, I think they're having a tough time with, like, you guys can't save contacts. I can't see contacts. We're just having a tough technology day, but you should be able to see them in command. That's the theory. For Teams, specifically, because a lot of you guys have them and are on them, right now I would use custom tags to differentiate your agents. Because right now you can't see who uploaded what, you don't have any idea, and I would log in through your Rainmaker to do anything so that you know that it's all consistent, and that's going to be a real pain, I know, but if you want to make sure that everything you're doing is being tracked, log in through your Rainmaker. Do it that way, because then you know for a fact if I put a contact in, they're going to be in there, and your Rainmaker will eventually be able to disseminate, but for now, use a tag that says, for example, Dawn, we did this yesterday, Dawn's contact as a tag, or Aaron's contact as a tag.
Okay. What's your Rainmaker?
What now?
What is your Rainmaker?
Oh, I'll show you. On Teams, if you have already been connected as a team, then you have, under groups, where are my groups? See, up in the top left, it'll show you all your groups. So that is our whole office. If you wanted to go in there and just blurb to everyone in, like, hey guys, I need help with whatever, you can do that there. This is my personal Teams group. So the members on our team, Dawn, Aaron, and Jen. Jennifer is designated as the Rainmaker and the group admin. So whoever group admin is next to, even if they didn't get it right, go with that person, because they have access to change and alter everything you do in there. Does that make sense?
Where are you again for really slow people?
Oh, sorry. No, you're fine. So if you go to your home page.
I am there. Okay, sure. Oh, okay. I found it.
Oh, okay. Your groups are on the left.
Got it.
See, I have to hit some connect right now.
Yeah, I got it.
You can do this one of two ways. So in command, if you're on your home page and you go to the groups, top left is groups. They also added this new button the last couple of days, which is called Connect up top. And if you click that, that'll also take you there. And you'll have your groups on the left. Any questions? No? You don't have a group? That's the office. You have labs right now. And then if you have a team, you can create a new group. So I'm not.
Little Jimmy.
Alright, so that is Teams, and I know we don't have a lot of info on it, but in all of my classes, people would stand up and say, but I have a team, how do I do this? And the answer has been consistent. consistently we're rolling it out and we're trying to get there as fast as we can. One guy even hesitated but said Q3 we're hoping to have some functionality, but I don't have it there, and your integration's not there. So as a caution, I would use your Rainmaker or your group admin, whoever's designated, to put stuff in.
This is kind of circling back to importing, and if we need to tackle it on the back end, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
When you are looking at the CSV file that you downloaded from command, if you just want to pare it down to 4 or 5 different columns or fields, if you alter that document at all, will that screw things up when you try to import it back?
If you're saying you've uploaded it once and then you wanted to alter it again and upload it again?
Like I downloaded it from command, and there's 100 fields, and I only want 7. And I delete all the other ones and then import it back. Is that going to jack it up if I try to do that?
I've never tried that. And I would just keep them the same way, but I imagine it would be able to read it. I just don't know for sure. Huh?
Just leave those fields blank.
Yeah, I would just leave them blank and leave them there. Because it may be, I don't know how it's calculating out different fields.
Yeah.
And if it's counting, then you're going to be in trouble.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, so that's Teams. And now, any questions? Just overall, go ahead.
One thing that I've seen, I haven't done anything at all. It keeps asking me in order to email, I need to link up my MailChimp account.
In order to email out of your,
Out of command.
a non-mass email?
Yeah, it just says every time I go, there's actually a header.
Like the same page where PySync is and Google and iCloud, all that stuff on the top.
To add contact to email list, you'll need to connect your email account, MailChimp account first.
That doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah. I get it, and I understand it could be just glitchy going on.
And it might be, but you should be able to add your Google Gmail account, because that's what Command is operating off of right now.
Because I've tried to connect that to that same main screen, and it just circles and it stops.
So I did it prior to, and it's held onto it okay, and I've been able to get messages out, so you should be able to. You just may have to be patient with it.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
When you import, if you're importing a lot of names, can you have a category? There's no category for custom tags on the spread on the CSVs.
You may have to do a bulk add, so add that custom tag into command, have it already there, and then you can select a bunch of contacts and bulk add them to a custom tag. Does that make sense? So part of that last slide when I said Teams systematically update your contacts, the reason I say that is because you can tag them. If you take, say in my instance, if I took Aaron's database out of WiseAgent separately from everyone else and then pulled it over and bumped it up into command, I can then take all those contacts, and I know that they're all Aaron's, right? And tag them all as Aaron. And I can tag them all, for the most part, as buyers, right? Because she's my buyer's agent, and I know that, and I can go ahead and do that, and it will make it much simpler than later trying to backtrack and figure out who is Aaron's contact. I honestly don't know.
So you're saying do it like agent by agent?
I would, if you're a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would, and that's why I hesitate with PySync, because if it syncs all my contacts and it doesn't bring the right category with it, I don't usually have techno fear, but that gives me a little anxiety. I don't like that idea. So, somebody, if you have a smaller database and you're willing to do that, please let me know. I would love to know how your experience with PySync. I really do want to know, because I just cannot delete 5,000 contacts again.
Post it in the Facebook.
Good idea.
Is there an export so that you can take a look at what the file formats are to match to when you're creating your CSV?
There is a blank export file you're talking about taking your contacts and putting them into the command CSV?
Correct.
Yes, there is a blank CSV file. And if you go into command, into your contacts, top right import, this button that says download, that is the blank file. And that's what you need to match your CSV file to.
Got it.
Beautiful.
Flip it over.
But there is not a part in there that will, even that CSV file that will match married people.
No.
So you're still gonna have to go back into the system and rematch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did you
Last
open
name's
the
not made up
contacts?
on that one.
For this? So if you go into contacts in your main page right here, and then you go top right import, this right here, this is actually a button, and if you click it, it will download that file. Go ahead.
Can you add multiple accounts to like if you have 2 Gmail accounts, will allow you to do that?
It will not allow you to do that right now, which is annoying, and that was probably the #1 question ever asked ever. But for example, Jennifer's, I maintain all of Jennifer's things, but people will still email me as Alexis. So those contacts between me and them are not being recorded in Command as a contact between Jennifer and them. So some of the functionality is lost there. And in your case, if you have a personal and a KW and people are emailing 2 different ones, I would forward one to the other, and then it will always be linked. Does that make sense? So my KW is actually linked to my Gmail, and Jennifer has like a four email chain going on. So like way back in the day, she had Mindspring, and she forwarded that to KW, and KW now forwards to Barnes Young, and so we've got 3 different forwards going through, and it still captures that. So you may just have to forward.
So your eEdge and Gmail accounts won't talk to each other that way.
No.
What you're saying, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
That's fine.
Don't doubt Gary. Don't bet against him.
I just want to, I think we all need to thank Alexis for just
Yeah.
when you have like aha for us, like the ones who are not at your level of understanding, because I know you spent a couple
I'm not really
days.
that high.
Well, you spent a lot of time with this. Is there a couple things you can tell us that you're thinking of that might be very helpful to all of us?
I think my thing would be just simplify. Keep it simple. Do not try to overcomplicate this system yet. When you are initially putting things in, you do not want to have to go back and take things out. You do not want to have to go back and double work something. So when I say simplify, I mean kind of like, again, to Andrew's point, maybe you can't do just the top 5, like phone number, email, physical address, name, and spouse. Maybe you need to do a couple of other tags, like different agent names and things like that. Still keep it really simple. Keep it to buyer seller, keep it to ABC, advocate, met, not met. And that was my biggest takeaway from them, because as somebody who has a database who's it's just crazy complicated, I think the simplicity is not only going to help me, but it's going to help my agents and drive our business forward. So just keep it simple. That would be my big takeaway.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know if the class was getting over it. Are you going to show us how to add your personal sections, personal?
Oh, your custom tags?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious because it's not letting me show contacts right now, but I can certainly try.
There's a lot of great video stuff on Kitchen
Yes.
Tags.
Oh, I need to pull that up too. So thank you for reminding me.
Lots of great stuff on there.
Good point.
So hang on. There's an email that they sent out on where to find more info for tech, and I want to share that with you guys. I think Kayla sent it out.
KW Connect, and then you go technology. Yeah, that's it. That's all the stuff probably right
These
there.
are all fabulous sites, and a lot of what I put on my slides today came from these. So if you get stuck, if you're not sure, these sites are great, and they really do break it down. So for more information on Command, and then it literally goes through each and every one. Like every section, what you can expect and what you need to do. If you click on contacts, in theory it'll pull this up. So this one's cool. Filters and smart views. Customize your view. Track your interactions. See when you're talking to people, how often. You can set up a smart view that will automatically pull up people who you haven't talked to in 90 days. So if you're working through your database and some of us do it quarterly, you can set that up so that in 90 days it will show you everyone that you're supposed to be talking to today. It's really cool.
Yeah, KW Technology Facebook page is pretty good too. A lot of people
Yes,
talking
that
about
is a good one. Yeah.
When you are downloading the mapping file, if you go in and you create a custom tag, and then you do the download, will it be represented in that mapping file?
I don't think it will, not yet. So I think when you're downloading, that is a blank templated sheet. That sheet is proprietary to KW, and if you change anything in that sheet, it will not translate well when you upload it again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so when you, all right.
When I say create your custom tag ahead of time, it's so that when you upload it, you can bulk add those people to that tag, and it's already ready for you.
But you can't do it in the upload file.
And where do we create the custom tag?
Working on that.
Oh,
1 second.
I thought maybe I missed it.
Nope, you did not. I am trying to remember in all my playing around. Here we go. So if you go to your home page, and you go to settings, and you go to the left here, and click on custom tags. Top right is create new tag. And as you can see here, I have a few already in there. I have Best of BYT, that's our exclusive advocate group that we have a closed Facebook group for. I want them to be a tag because if I have an interaction with them, I want it to be meaningful. And if they are looking for something, like say they email me, I want it to pop up, I want it to be front of mind. Buyer, seller, obviously you want to know the difference at a glance. You want to be able to filter by that. Advocates, things like that.
What do you do if they're a buyer and a seller? Do you just call them a seller at that point?
I might tag them as both.
Yeah.
You can still tag them as both. Also on this left-hand side, you can change custom fields. You can change different opportunity settings. So we're not in the opportunities page, and that's a whole different class. But any of the little widgets inside these different pages are customizable pretty much. I mean, it's down to the tiniest level. You can rename whatever you want. You can select that you'd rather it show up in 3 days rather than 5 days. And that's kind of the complexity of command that we're going to have to adapt to. But that's also why it's giving you the spinning wheel of death right now, because it's trying to think too hard. Also, the neighborhoods function is a back-end command contact piece. So you add that to each contact, and that is something that you will have to add to each contact individually because it's unique to command. It's not by zip code and it's not by area, it's by you going in and selecting those neighborhoods. But I would do that if you can. I would make that a part of your upload process because once they roll out those websites and that app, that consumer app, if you already have them in there, you're a click of a button, right? Like you're done. You don't have to wait and then go back through and do them again. If you do it in this process and just make it all one lump thing, you'll be way ahead of the game when it finally rolls. So.
And are those preloaded neighborhoods or you, yes?
So.
Some of them.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't got the whole nation yet. But, and mostly it's like rural areas that are struggling right now. They said that one of the questions in one of my classes was, I live in a rural area. We don't have neighborhoods. We have counties. Like, we're big, you know? And they were like, they asked if you could draw the function, and that is coming, but that is not here yet. You will not be able to draw your own custom neighborhood yet. It is all downloaded from Nextdoor. So,
can I just tried to find my neighborhood, and I ended up going to maps, and it didn't have it labeled like
the way that you would label it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I clicked on it, and it came up Pine Hills, so I clicked on that, and then it put it in there.
Yeah, so when you're searching it,
try
I
the map.
highly recommend the map, because that's what you're really looking for anyway. When you type in your neighborhood, like Dawn typed in Redfield, some of you guys know Redfield, what she really wanted was Austin Elementary School District. So it highlighted Redfield, but when she went to the map, it was a little bit different than what she was actually looking for, so she went through and selected Winter Hall and the surrounding neighborhoods as well, because she knew that that's really what she was looking for. Does that make sense? Plus you want a visual of what.
So when it selects the neighborhood, I don't understand, what's that doing? Is it pulling all the people from that neighborhood?
What it's doing is it is providing stats and information, like listings that are on the market right now, average price point for those listings, sold in the area, and it's giving all that information to the consumer via a constantly updated landing page.
Okay.
So you would send that out to them and they would be able to explore, and it also has a lead generation tag at the bottom. Hey, let's chat, you know, about these neighborhoods, interested in something, and it leaves a little area for them to contact you.
Gotcha.
It's really cool. Also in the consumer app, they'll get real-time updates, which is, oh, so exciting. It'll look like you guys are just constantly in your little computers like, woo, look at this cool stuff. But you gotta fake it when they call you. Yeah! Click over. That's true. Any other questions I can answer for
I
you
was
guys?
just in another neighborhood. Let me
Yeah,
toggle over
exactly.
here.
Hey, I was just looking something up for somebody else, so 1 second. Yeah. Anything else? Any other questions about contacts specifically?
And is it possible to resend out the information like was that YouTube's that you could click on? Is that what it was when it was talking about the different segments and stuff?
Oh,
The different links, we sent it out yesterday.
You did, okay,
Yeah.
then it'll be in my
Kayla and
email.
Lexus sent it out.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So I will give you, my contact info is on there. Yes, that is real phone number. You can text me, email me, ask me questions. I am huge into helping you guys because, as they say, the more you pour into others, the more full your cup gets. Isn't that the saying? So this class has been valuable for me as well, and I absolutely would love any follow-up questions. And if any of you do PySync, I want to pick your brain because I need to know how it comes across. Before
And would you like Alexis to come back and teach more?
Yes.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Once a week. So those of you that are familiar with the Kelly 66-Day Challenge that's on Facebook, there is also now a Keller Williams Command 66-Day Challenge where they're going to give you a tip every day. So get out Facebook and
Well, if you're already a member of that group, they just renamed it this.
Okay.
So it's the same group, they just renamed it.
Just
Perfect.
know
But
that
if
you
you're not
can
in
get
it,
a
you
tip
have to
a
apply.
day for Command. And they just give you 1 tip a day to familiarize you something with Command.
If you haven't done it yet, make sure KW is in your profile. You will not get accepted. Just put an email out about that saying that. I've had some of your we had 4,800 requests or 1,300 requests in the last 48 hours.
Yes.
So everybody's done.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
Lex.
you.
And I'm at that corner office if you need me.
Thanks, Alexis.
What are you teaching next?
What do you want?